So we actually did this before, this intro and the freaking news, but I forgot to click record. So we're gonna start over again. You're on the first episode of the Kick in the Eye podcast. I'm your host, Celestial or William. You may know me from my TikTok where I talk about anime and such. I'm with my friend and co-host here. We've known each other for like 11 years.
Yep. Hey, y'all. I'm Josh, and yeah, we've been friends for like roughly 11, 12 years. It's kind of crazy. Kind of flew by, I'm not gonna lie.
Mm-hmm. So we're gonna start out with some anime news for y'all. If you guys were wondering about what's happening in the industry right now, currently this month or maybe last month, not really sure if I have my dates correctly, but yeah, pretty much this month. If you're wondering what the heck is happening in the anime industry, here is what. So the Horimiya manga series ends after 9 years of serialization. Basically, if you don't know what that means, it's like 9 years of publishing. It's gonna end in March 2021. So the final chapter will be ending on March 18th, and the summary of the manga is: although admired at her school for her amiability and her academic prowess, high school student Kyoko Hori has been hiding another side of her. With her parents often away from home due to work, Hori has to look after her younger brother and do the housework, leaving no chance to socialize away from school. Meanwhile, Izumi Miyamura is seen as a brooding, glasses-wearing otaku. However, in reality, he is a gentle person inept at studying. Furthermore, he has 9 piercings hidden behind his long hair and a tattoo along his back and left shoulder. By sheer chance, Hori and Miyamura cross paths outside of school, neither looking as other expects. These seemingly polar opposites become friends, sharing with each other a side that they have never shown to anyone else. And if you didn't know, this manga has actually been adapted. There's a 13 episode television anime series that's produced by Cloverworks, which is like it's a, what's it called? Fuck, what are they called, Josh? What are they called?
What my studio?
Yeah, it's
Anime?
a studio that produces some of your favorite romance shows like Bunny Girl Senpai. And it's streaming on Funimation with English subtitles or dub. And if you didn't know, there was a webcomic before the manga, and the original webcomic by Hiro ran on her official website, Dokai Eihen, from February 2007 to March 2008. The Square Enix published the webcomic in 10 volumes under its Gangan Comics imprint between October 2008 and December 2011. After the end of the main story, Hiro continued to release side stories on her website.
And for this year's April issue of Manga Time Kiara Max, announced on Friday that Aki Hamiji's Bochi the Rock manga is being adapted into a television anime. The summary of the manga is Hitori Goto is a high school girl who started to learn to play the guitar because she dreams of being in a band. But unfortunately, she's very introverted and shy, so she hasn't made a single friend. However, her dream might come true, after she meets a girl named Nijika Lichi, a girl who plays drums and is looking for a new guitarist for her band.
The manga Totsukuni no Shoujo ends in March after 5.5 years of serialization. So the summary of this manga is that long ago there was a god of light and a god of darkness. While those devoted to the god of light experienced happiness and good fortune, the god of darkness would play tricks on the people and steal their joy. And so, as the legend goes, the god of light decided to punish him by turning him into a monster. Enraged by this, the god of darkness wielded his punishment as a curse in order to inflict suffering upon others. Because of his action, he was banished to the outside, where he and his monstrous children are to remain for eternity, while those from the inside must never come into contact with someone from the outside, lest they be cursed with a hideous form. So, a little girl named Shiva, an insider, is found by an outsider, and she comes to know as Sensei. Though they cannot touch, Sensei cares for Shiva as best as he can, and together they live a moderately happy life. But soon, Shiva not only finds herself in danger from the outside, but from her own kind as well. So, another light novel called Lidale no Daichi Nite gets an anime adaptation, and it was announced by the publishing company Kadokawa on Monday. And the synopsis is: new beginnings in a familiar land. After a horrific accident put her on life support, the last vestige of freedom, Keina Kagami, was in the VR MMORPG world of Lidale. When she wakes up in her body of her game avatar, though, Keina finds that the worries of her old life appear to be a thing of the past, but somehow this new land doesn't seem to be quite the Lidale she remembers.
So, another light novel. Uh, forgive me for how I say this. Kage no Jitsuryo Yukusha ni Naratakute gets a TV anime. The publishing company Kadokawa announced on Friday that Daisuke Aizawa's Kage no Jitsuryo Kusha ni Naritakute, The Eminence in Shadow, light novel is being adapted into a television anime. The summary of it is that great heroes and diabolical villains are the types of characters that people long to be, but not Sid Kageno, not Sid Kageno. He longs to become the true mastermind behind it all, pulling all the strings and having his uh, machinations drive the entire story. In his previous life, in modern day Japan, he was not able to achieve his goals, but now, reborn into a world of magic, he will show his true eminence of shadow. As Sid pretends to be just another average mob character, he recruits members to his fake organization, Shadow Garden, aiming to take down the mysterious cult who lurks in the shadows. With plenty of ad libs, Sid leads his organization against the foul yet surprisingly real Diablo's cult. Aizawa launched the comedy fantasy novel on the Shosei Tsuka Ninaro website in May 2018. Kadokawa began publishing the series, though it's through its Interbrain label, with illustrations by Tozai in November of that year, and released the fourth volume on Friday. Kage no Jitsuryokusha ni Naritakute has accumulated over 1 million copies in its volume in circulation.
What we're going to be talking about today is Bunny Girl Senpai, or Rascal Does Not Dream of a Bunny Girl Senpai. So what have you watched last week?
Well, for the past like 3 days, I'd say. I finished like all 13 episodes of the anime, and then I finished the movie like 2 hours ago.
Yeah, I made him
Yeah.
watch that. So, so what I have been watching is basically most of your airing shows: Attack on Titan, ReZero, Horimiya. You know the gist. And then I've also been watching Bakemonogatari, which is a show that can be basically compared to Bunny Girl Senpai. And I would just like to. I watched it not knowing that, but I was like episodes in, and I just saw I was just like, dude, it's literally correlates. And if you didn't know, Josh, the main character, he basically saves a girl
Hmm.
from a supernatural thing, becomes his love
Yeah.
interest, and then he goes around
Uh,
and saves more people. So it's like literally just
it's the same.
it's the same. Yeah, it's almost the same
It's the
thing,
same.
except like there's vampires and such. If you're interested in that, you should watch
Okay.
it. And if you don't know about Bunny Girl Senpai, you should probably not listen to this because you wouldn't make sense of it. But anyway, we're gonna talk about it. So, how did you like Bunny Girl Senpai?
It was good. Like, it was pretty entertaining. I kind of found it funny, although like the kind of awkward flirting or whatnot. But it was just
Really?
like,
I like the
I mean,
flirting, dude. Come on,
yeah, I know,
like,
yeah. It was awkward, but I liked it too. It was
uh
kind of
huh.
nice,
Yeah, like the
sorta.
dynamic. That's one thing I really like about it. That the show is the dynamic between Sakata and Mai. That was great. That was
I wish
superb.
I wish I saw more though. I swear to God, I thought they were gonna kiss, but they never did.
Did they never
They never
kiss?
did.
Didn't they kiss like on the cheek or something?
Yeah, but that doesn't
Oh yeah, they
count.
never
Come
kissed.
on.
They never like actually kissed, did they?
Yes, they literally ended the anime by like, oh, they're about to kiss, but then freaking Mai just grabs his cheek. I was so pissed off. This was right before I went to bed. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, yeah. I don't remember that they didn't kiss. I remember that they had like serious like down to earth flirting though, and it was great.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And
So, your thoughts on like the supernatural part of it?
uh, I would like it's kind of like confusing. Obviously, like they don't really explain what it is, and like to me, I just found the supernatural things is like because it's supposed to be a realistic anime, right? Like it's supposed to be somewhat realistic, and like so I
Mm-hmm.
just found the like unrealistic things to be like I guess like the personification of well not personification, but
Symbolism.
how do I guess, but it's basically like mental illnesses put into things, real things. So
Yeah,
somewhat.
yeah. So like the puberty syndrome or the adolescent syndrome, it's kind of like what the character is. I think if I remember, what the character is experiencing mentally, it kind of shows physically, like
Yeah,
in
it
terms of
correlates physically.
like Kaede, his sister, was getting bullied and like was getting like told to like kill herself or die, and then
Yeah.
she kind of the adolescence the syndrome basically made that emotional pain become physical pain.
Real. Yeah.
Yeah.
So she
So
had like major
that's
anxiety and stuff.
yeah. And I think okay, I think it's a beautiful way to represent like what happens in middle school and high school when kids start to form cliques and stuff like that where they
Yeah,
like
yeah,
it's
yeah.
so hard to join and stuff, especially in Japan, which is where anime comes from. I heard like once girls like they form their cliques, it's hard for someone to join those types of things.
I
So
mean, it's the same here pretty much. I would assume it's easier in America, but
yeah, I think well, I'm not like the most sociable person, but I can still talk to people. Like I have friends who to tell me like it's insanely hard to get into a clique, and I just think that either you force your way in there and they don't like you and you leave, or you force your way into there and they like you and
you just stay.
yeah, you just stay, and that's how it works. And in case some otaku or NEET is listening, follow my advice. Anyway, so I think most people. Here's the thing about this show, okay? I
It's
think,
relatable.
no, that's not what I'm trying to go about it. I'm trying to
No.
say like, this is the show that shonen watchers first. It's like the shonen watchers' first romance. Okay, so they watch Naruto, they watch Baki, they watch freaking Jujutsu Kaisen, and there's like not a hint of, or there's some romance, but like it's
It's
not
not
the main
much.
thing. It's not
Yeah, it's
like
not based around that.
yeah, it's not based around the romance.
Yeah,
It's like
Rocky, like it's a big thing. His romance. It's literally how he got strong.
yeah, I don't know about those. So I'm just giving examples of
Oh, okay,
like
yeah, yeah, yeah.
really shonen shows. Okay,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
say like Itadori from Jujutsu
Jujutsu
Kaisen. Like he does
Kaisen.
not have a love interest at all, right?
Nope. That's big butts though.
So this is kind of like the anime that like they're like, maybe I should try a new genre, and all the romance fans are like, you should watch Bunny Girl Senpai, and then like they watch Bunny Girl Senpai and they fucking fall in love with I mean like a lot of people's first waifus if it wasn't Asuna from Sao, you know, like
Yeah.
literally
Wow.
she's a bunny girl. I mean, she dresses pretty provocative. She dress
Provocative. Yeah.
provocatively during the show as a
Yeah.
bunny girl suit. So like I think that's what people really like about it. However, that's not the main part of the show. The main part of the show is representing puberty syndrome, which is what we just talked about before.
Yeah. Like,
So you thought it was kind of confusing, right?
yeah, like I mean, I found I could kind of understand some of things like Futuba, right? Like she had what, two people, but
Mm-hmm.
then okay, never mind. I'm so confused about that because then there's like, is that a future her or is it because she has like split personalities?
I think I think it
Because
was like didn't she have a crush on someone and it was because of that? Sorry, I haven't watched the
I
show in a
didn't.
long time. So
Yeah,
like,
she had a crush on someone, but
did it have
that's
to?
I didn't think that's why. Or maybe it was because she made up for it and then like she finally joined with her second twin after they agreed that they would go see like fireworks with the guy.
Oh
Something
yeah,
like that. So it probably is. It
I think
probably is.
it was like she wanted to be someone that she was not, that she
Yeah, yeah,
created
yeah,
someone
yeah,
that she
yeah.
wasn't, and that's how it happened. Okay, like funny fucking the fandom is gonna come yell at me, but I think I haven't watched the show in a while, and I think that's what it was. Okay,
I,
yeah,
confusing. Very
confusing.
confusing.
Yeah, confusing to the least. Maybe a second watch or more would help Josh understand. But here's the thing that I don't like. Okay, and forgive me, fandom, but I didn't like how he basically solved a person's problem and then it just everything went back to normal. And then like it didn't progress. Like each one didn't really correlate with each other. It was just another thing that happened. Like it didn't build from 1 to 13. It built from like 1 to 3 and then 4 to 5, 4 to 6 and then like 7 to 8, something like that, right?
Yeah,
It would just
yeah,
be
yeah,
like
yeah,
a
yeah.
3 episode thing and then we're back to normal and some other person has another problem, right? It like
Yeah,
it
yeah,
didn't
yeah,
really
yeah,
build.
yeah. I see that. I see that.
Yeah, so that was one thing I just was like don't really like that. It was kind of bad writing in my opinion. Obviously, this is all opinionated. And another
Yeah.
thing I didn't like was that it was kind of like bullshitting almost. So as you got like, you'd accept like, okay, so Maya got saved by because Maya
He
got
went
saved
back in
by
time and
Sakta.
everything.
Yeah, 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 yeah. All of that happened. Like it was
However
just like,
that worked.
yeah, it was just like, okay, sure, right? But then it
Yeah.
felt like as more of these situations happened, more and more it was kind of like the author going like bleh, right, just like throwing about a bunch of stuff and then like a bunch of his ideas and then like piecing them together that it would make sense, almost like a conspiracy theory, like they take things and they just create their own story, and that's what I
Yeah.
felt like the writing was.
Yeah, it wasn't really good. Like they only built like to me they only built one like what do you call it? Problem, which was with the girl. I forgot her name, which kind of sucks. The little girl who had like the heart problem. Oh gosh, I literally just watched this. How do I not remember?
The little girl with her heart problem.
Like she looks like Mai pretty much.
Oh, the one, oh fuck, what is her name? Hold on, let me, I can find it right now.
Yeah, I'm looking up characters. She's pretty important.
She's a very important part of the story, especially in
Very.
the movie.
Oh, Shoko. There we
Yeah,
go.
Shoko Makinohara.
Yeah, she was just like mentioned barely throughout the entire thing,
Mm-hmm.
basically.
Yeah, in the
Yeah, and
first
that's
part,
what
she was
that's
she was very unimportant, and then she
yeah,
showed
and
up
then
randomly with her cat.
yeah, randomly. Yeah, so that's about the only like problem that they actually kept going. And then obviously that was the final thing in the movie.
Mm-hmm. Which is okay, but I feel like, um,
Everyone else's problem wasn't really
yeah, it
important.
was like almost irrelevant by then.
Yeah, it's just Kaide and Shoko were probably the most important ones.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then one thing I would like to point out about the movie. Okay, so a lot of people when I talk, so I've made lists of romantic animes, right?
Yeah.
And people,
Yeah.
I remember seeing in the comments like, "Bro, where's Bunny Girl Senpai?" Like, I waited to see Bunny Girl Senpai, and here's the reason why I don't like it. Okay, so the first part you
Mhm.
already heard. I didn't like the writing, and I felt like the author was kind of bullshitting once he as the plot progressed. And then the
Yeah, yeah,
movie,
yeah, yeah.
okay, the movie is the thing I have the problem with, and it's actually rated higher on my anime list than it is
The actual
than the
anime.
show, and that kind of
Huh.
annoys me. So the movie, okay, the first like how long was it? Hold on, let me look. The first maybe hour of the movie was just fan service. Do you know what that means, Josh?
Yeah, fan service is just like lewd shit, kind of.
More
Right?
like it's what the fans want. It's like what
Oh,
the fans like. Something like say you want a couple to
happen.
happen, they would that
It'll
would
happen.
be fan service. It wouldn't be
Okay.
toward. It wouldn't have anything towards the plot. To. It's just for the viewer to find their happiness and soul. So, for
Yeah.
example, like, there's an anime called Ore Gaidu, if you know it, viewers or
Mm,
watch listeners, viewers, both. If you know that show, basically they're creating an OVA where one of the girls it's like for one of the girls. So there's like two girls who are fighting. Who, how do I word this? There's like two girls, and they're both the love interest of this main protagonist. One girl wins, right? Okay.
yeah.
So then the OVA is created for the people who wanted the other girl to win, so they could have some peace of mind. And that literally would just be a fan service OVA, right?
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes
So
sense.
for fan service is like for the fans. So basically, for an hour of this movie, it was just fan service. Okay, like nothing happened at all.
True that. True that.
Yeah, literally nothing happened. It was just freaking them like doing normal stuff. And
Yeah.
then like the next 30 minutes was actually what was important about the movie. And yeah, that still I think was total bullshit. The author was just fucking spewing shit out of his mouth,
Yeah.
and then just made sense of it somehow, you know. So what did you
Honestly,
think
I
of the
didn't.
movie?
It wasn't bad. I kind of hate, or like, I wouldn't say hate. I don't like Shoko, because like, okay, Bunny Girl Senpai. It's supposed to be like a romance anime, but to me, there wasn't even that much romance.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, like I said, a lot of people think of it as a romance, but I actually don't think of it as a
Yeah,
romance. I
yeah.
think of
I
it
don't
more
think
as
it's
a
a romance either.
supernatural. Yeah, I think the fans make it to be seeming like a romance, which is kind of
But
bad because the real highlight of it is the supernatural part and what it's trying to say,
yeah,
right?
that's what they're trying to like solve the entire time.
And then like people in the fan base, they just are so focused on Mai, and I think the fault of that
Yeah.
is that it's the first romance that people watch, and then it's classified as romance. This okay in terms of romance anime. I'm gonna say this straight up. It is not even in like top 20 romance anime.
No,
Okay, it
no,
is
no, no,
not
no, no.
because it is more a supernatural than it is a romance. Sure, Sakuta and Mai they have a great relationship and we all love that, but it's not the point of the story. The point of the story is about the adolescent syndrome and all of that and him trying to fix it.
Yeah,
And
trying to figure out what it is, you know?
yeah, so it's it's almost annoying to me that I have to look at this fandom and and see what they talk about. They talk about is freaking Mai and how pretty she is, and her saying like "baka shiranai" and shit like that, and it annoys the
Yeah,
fuck out of me because that's not the point of the story. Okay, that was like that first three
exactly.
episodes. If you really like that so much, then you should just say I like the first three episodes of Bunny Girl Senpai and the movie.
Yeah.
First
And
one
the rest
hour
are
of it.
trying to like figure out like Kaide's situation
Uh
and like
huh.
his scars.
Uh huh. Yeah. There's a lot more stuff that was happening that was outside of that relationship.
They
Obviously.
straight up like only kissed or on the cheek. And that was the most
Mhm.
romantic thing they did.
Yeah, pretty dumb to be honest.
Exactly, it's not a romantic anime.
Yeah,
Oh well.
yeah. Well, like yeah, it's a romantic anime, but oh, shit, it's a romantic anime, but it's not
Meant to be.
meant to be. Its purpose is not to be a romance anime. Its purpose is to be supernatural.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's my thoughts about that. Do you want any underlying thoughts?
Under I just think okay, Yuma, the girl that like Futaba had like a crush on, I feel like he was kind of useless. I ain't gonna lie.
Uh huh. Like he was just kind of he is a supporting character, but like it's almost
Yeah,
like it didn't
not really
really
important.
like
He didn't really change anything.
one thing I didn't like was how like after he fixed someone's problem, Sakuta fixed someone's problem, the
Yeah.
character only showed up if it was important to the plot. Like they wouldn't show up anymore because they weren't important to the plot. It's like he fixed his
Like
problem and then he just like ditched them
oh,
forever.
like yeah, like fucking Koga,
Yeah, yeah,
Tomoe Koga,
yeah, that girl. Yeah,
the
they're
girl
like
who
it
like repeating
basically
days,
yeah the second problem, the one that was repeating time.
repeating days.
It
Yeah.
was like he fixed the problem, and it was
Now
like
she's
okay,
absolutely useless.
yeah. Now she's absolutely
She does
useless, and
nothing.
that's crazy, dude. That's like actually, I just don't like that. It's like
Yeah,
the
I
characters
understand.
don't play any importance after their role of 3 episodes. With a 13 episode anime, you want some development, and that goes to show like how what I mean by the plot development. Like, it was almost like multiple stories, and it wasn't like they correlated with each other, except the fact that they were supernatural. It was just him helping another problem after another, without any really solving like the underlying thing,
Yeah, which was like his sister and his scars, which I'm
which was
still
his.
confused on how they healed. Like his scars went away.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a lot of
And,
supernatural stuff, but we shouldn't crack down on that because I feel like the viewer or watcher should watch it if they haven't watched it, and then we won't talk about
true.
some spoilers, I guess. This,
Oh,
but it is like basically a whole spoiler. I don't know if you
yeah,
wanna.
we basically already spoiled the
Yeah,
entire thing.
I'll put a spoiler tag on the title of this. So
Yeah, I
yeah,
was about to say. I already talked about the ending of the anime.
yeah. So basically, final thoughts for me is just that I feel like it's not appreciated. First of all, it's not appreciated as a supernatural, and then it's not good as a supernatural. So it's not good in my.
It's in its own category.
Yeah, it's kind of like people focus too much on the romance that they can't fully appreciate the supernatural, and then the supernatural wasn't good either. So it's kind of just an
Yeah.
awful. It's not an awful, but it's kind of just, I guess, mid is what new people want to call
Yeah,
it. It's mid.
yeah.
It's a mid show.
All the people on freaking TikTok who said like
Yeah.
mid piece.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that thing. Yeah. People
TikTokers.
love this show on TikTok. So Josh, what do you think about anime supremacy? If you want to know what that
About
is.
basically just people going overboard and thinking anime's life
Yeah, like
is
nothing can beat anime, and anime is the best thing in the world. Stuff like that.
yeah. Yeah. That's
So lately, I've been seeing a lot of TikToks, which is my main like social media, I guess, of
yeah, you're
people.
probably exposed to it a lot more than me.
Yeah, like it's like I just see so many people. Like first of all, I see this thing right, like just like when your friend doesn't want. It's like when your friend doesn't want to watch Attack on Titan. It's like, bro, come on. If he doesn't want to watch, or like people thinking like, oh, I don't want to watch it because anime is weird, right? Just let
Yeah.
the person chill out, bro. Like it's fine. They can not watch anime. Like if they didn't watch anime, they wouldn't go on in life without like meaning, okay? Like anime is not the rest of life and stuff like that,
Yeah.
right?
If they don't want to watch it, just leave 'em
Yeah.
be. Just leave 'em be.
Like honestly, it's not that hard to just be like, okay, you don't want to watch anime? It's fine. It's super cool, but I respect your opinion. You can think it's weird until you watch like you can literally say, okay, you can think it's weird until you watch this first episode of Attack on Titan, and then you'll think differently. Okay, that's all you have to say. You don't
Yeah.
have to bully the crap out of someone because they didn't watch Attack on Titan. And also, I want to talk about actual like mainstream supremacy, which is a weird thing to say because I do
Mm,
support. I think it's fine if you like mainstream anime, but like
yeah.
people haven't watched Attack on Titan and watch anime. That's not weird, okay? They might not like shonen. They don't need to watch Attack on Titan to be a weeb. First of all, okay? Like One Piece fans.
I mean, a lot of people don't like Attack on
Yeah,
Titan.
yeah, and I'm one of them for the first 3 seasons. The fourth season though,
Yes,
I'm like,
it's very
yeah,
repetitive.
the fourth season, I'm like, holy crap, this thing is good.
Fourth season's
Yeah,
good.
yeah. I'm like, I was just like, the first 3 seasons, or 4 seasons if you really count, through season 3, part 2. But like,
Eh,
the first, I was just like, dude, the Grisha thing, I was so bored. Anyway, so, uh,
yeah.
mainstream anime supremacy, okay? If someone has not watched Attack on Titan, it doesn't mean they're not a weeb. Or freaking like, One Piece fans. They go like, if you haven't
Oh my
watched One
god.
Piece, you're literally like at a loss. You cannot watch anything until you watch One Piece, and that's crazy, dude.
One Piece is so freaking
Yeah, like
long, dude.
I don't even want to touch One Piece yet. That's crazy. So,
Because I'll admit, One Piece is very repetitive too.
and then I feel like the
But
longer episode things, they're just fillers. Here's two things I really hate:
yeah.
fillers and fan service. Okay, I hate things that don't really have to do with the plot, unless, like, yeah, basically, yeah. I don't like things when they don't have to do with the plot. It's really annoying to me. But
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
just my
yeah.
opinion, right? So those big animes, I feel like their fandoms just don't understand. Like people don't understand the idea that some people just don't watch the shows that you want to watch. Like I have a friend who only watched Shoujo I, which is like shoujo romance, like romance targeted towards
Yeah.
women, right? He only watched that, and then he watched like a few episodes of Attack on Titan, but he hardly watched shonen, and he only watched Pokemon when he was younger. And that's just some
Everyone
people
has
would
different
just watch
tastes.
that. Some people just don't like shonen. And it's crazy to
Yeah,
me that
it's their
people like would literally bully the heck out of someone. It's like saying this like some guy sees a clip of Attack on Titan. He's like, oh, what's that anime? He's like, oh my gosh, you haven't watched Attack on Titan? And it goes back to the
Yeah.
freaking like anime supremacy where it's just like, oh my gosh, you need to watch Attack. Honestly, this fandom of Attack on Titan is just crazy to me. I just really hate the amount of
It's getting
toxicity,
worse.
toxicity about it. Yeah, it's just
Spoilers. They think it's life.
yeah, it's
And then don't get me started on My Hero Academia.
oh my god, that fandom, that's crazy. We should talk
That's
about
the worst one right there.
that later, dude.
Okay,
Yeah.
sure.
So I think that's
It's on topic.
Yeah, yeah, it's on. Is it on topic?
Yeah, weird fandoms we don't like.
We should have a whole podcast about that. So I think we're done. We're almost done here. Do you have anything you want to say about Bunny Girl Senpai or what we just talked about?
Not really. I mean, I think it's a pretty good starter anime if people were into
Mhm.
that. or like if you recommend it, I don't think it'd be a bad
For Bunny
recommendation
Girl Senpai.
for story. Yeah, because it's not too like gory like some people like. Like I don't know, like Attack on Titan, obviously way too gory for people who are just starting.
Mm-hmm.
But and it's not too lewd either.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's a good recommendation for
Yeah,
starters.
it's a very good
But that's
starter
what.
anime. I agree with that. Say like recommend. I would actually recommend Bunny Girl Senpai over Attack on Titan because Attack on Titan is
Yeah.
like huge, right? Everyone loves it, and I feel like it doesn't
Yeah.
represent anime as a whole, but Bunny Girl Senpai does more or less. It's more of a mid. Excuse me for my opinion. It's more of a mid anime that is also pretty interesting.
Yeah, but you get to experience more of it. Like again, you said like it doesn't really fit into like the supernatural category, but neither does romance. But it goes into
Mm-hmm.
it somewhat.
Yeah, so then
So
you're
you
gonna
get
be
to see
like,
more
oh,
of it.
it's like a good branching anime. Like you could either watch it and be like, oh my gosh, supernatural, amazing, and then watch Bakemonogatari or what's another supernatural, some other supernatural, I don't know, and then because I'm not really a fan, or you can watch the romance part and then start watching Toradora or Pet Girl Sakura So, which also by the same writer, and that one I actually really liked, or freaking go into Shoujo Ai and like say I love you and something like that, right? It's a good branching anime to start out to figure out what you like.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
Yeah, so I think we're gonna come to an end here. Thank you for listening. If you are still here, you can plug your socials, Josh, if you want to.
I'll pass. I ain't got much.
Okay, so you guys can follow me on Instagram or follow me on TikTok. That's pretty much what I got. I mean, oh, or you could subscribe to us. Subscribe to us on YouTube, please. And then
Yes, please.
uh, we're gonna try to do this weekly. So a lot of
Yeah,
anime
I think that'd be
watching
good.
for you, Josh. Maybe next
Uh,
episode we'll talk about something else, not related to the anime
like
day.
what anime should I watch?
I don't know. I don't know.
Just give me a weekly
Yeah.
thing that I can actually do in a week.
Yep. Okay. Thanks for listening, guys. Bye.